All right, we are live. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight we got a late night show for y'all. I just did one previously. I'm doing a back to back tonight. Think I got the energy for it. But welcome to Night Owls. Tonight I got a special guest. She's also part of my team. She's my one of my low key members. Um, I want her to do all the introduction. I want her to explain herself and what I'm saying, let her introduce herself to the world. So
All right.
go ahead.
Hey world, I'm Danielle. I am actually the owner and operator of Beautiful People Beauty Supply. So look me up, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look for the girl with the afro.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else?
Website www.beautifulpeoplebeautysupply.com. Check us out. We are a natural and vegan friendly beauty supply store. So we have everything every beauty supply store has, just a more natural approach to it.
Cool, cool. What about Instagram? You got Instagram,
I
Twitter.
said Instagram,
You
Facebook,
got
Instagram,
Instagram.
Twitter, all that.
All
Just
right, I
look
was
me
making
up.
sure. What about LinkedIn? You got LinkedIn. We got
I got a
LinkedIn on there.
LinkedIn too. Check it out.
Hey, check out LinkedIn now, people. Hey, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Black Twitter.
All
Let's
that, all
let's
that.
let's check it out to support this queen. Let's get this
Yes.
going. Let's get this going.
Support, please.
Hey, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Since we're on the topic of business, this is what the discussion will be tonight is business and how it correlates to the relationship dynamics. Um, I also want to say that I know like one thing me and my wife is going to eventually do is we're actually going to make a show like this where we're going to actually talk about the relationship dynamic and when it comes to um, our relationship dynamic. We're going to break things down when it comes to the business structure stuff, but look out for that. We're going to do that in the near future as well. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna keep up with all these shows, but I'm gonna make it happen.
You got
I'm
it.
gonna
You
make it
got
happen.
it.
I got too much going on, but yeah. On that note, we're gonna talk business. We're gonna talk relationship dynamics. We're gonna talk monogamy versus hypergamy. I said hypernogamy. Am I saying it? I swear I keep messing that up. Hypergamy, 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 hypergamy. Yeah, hypergamy,
Okay.
hypergamy, and poly. We're going to talk about these three dynamics
Okay.
and how these things work in a business. Because first question is marriage a business?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, yes and no. Yes, because typically when you find somebody married, you finding a partner, you finding somebody that you can live life 50-50 with. Like, hey, we make sure we budget in, we're gonna spend the money on this. So it's kind of like a business, but you don't want to go into it like that.
Right.
Now, if you go into it, it's like, okay, look, I'm the CEO, you the assistant, let's get this going. Like, dang. So
Right.
it's kind of a 50-50. Like, I think so anyway.
Cool. 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 Um, my opinion is you don't have to be married to love somebody. Uh, so with that being said, to me, I feel like the whole structure of the marriage is business based, but I feel like the connection of individuals is spiritual and mental based, but the actual commitment of the marriage, just my opinion, is business structured. It's business based.
Okay.
The reason why I say that, and I say this, and I actually just can't just understand. I just came to this conclusion maybe like a week ago, and the reason
Okay.
why I came to this conclusion because I were like you, I was like, I think it's both, but I had to really think about this. Okay, I'm like, when I go to a courthouse and it's time to divorce, I've never heard at any courthouse where they talked about love during like the ending of a divorce for real. It's always about the the financial situation of
Right.
everything. Like who's getting this, who's getting that, who's keeping this, how much you gonna pay a month for that. Like nothing on that paperwork says nothing about love.
Well, yeah, that's why I say yes and no, because I guess that's the business side of marriage. Because now you've acquired assets combined amongst each other. So now you have a
Right.
house, you have a car, maybe you have stocks or you have money invested somewhere and you have to split it. Yes, that's the business side of the marriage. Because just like you said, in a
Right.
divorce, it's all about who splitting the assets. Once you split the assets,
Exactly. It's just like a
first of all,
business.
once you get a divorce, love doesn't matter anymore, obviously, because you're getting a divorce. So I think that's why it's not a, because really, how can you judge love, honestly? So it wouldn't even make sense to go to
Okay.
the court.
Okay. Perfect situation. Like in a prenup. Just say you have a prenup and you say in the
Okay.
prenup, hey, if you cheat on me, then you get nothing. That's a great way to base love. Because if you're not committed and you're sneaking around behind my back, then obviously you have a null and void of my love. You see what I'm saying? Like you null and void in that.
But you're going in
I
with
don't
the
know. I could be
but,
wrong. I'm just thinking out loud.
but you're going in with the expectation that something's going to happen.
Wait, come out with the prenup? I guess
Yes,
that's another topic
ma'am.
we need to talk about. Okay, do you is it necessary for a prenup?
It it's a lot of factors involved, I think, with a prenup. If somebody's presenting you with a prenup, they already feel, to me, some type of way, or they've had experiences with people that maybe try to take things from them or try to use them. So the prenup is kind of a safety net for them. And I get that. But from the female's perspective, because I've known females that was like, yeah, I was presented with a prenup and I felt offended because at no point in their relationship did she show signs of distrust. Or at no point in
Right.
the relationship did she show signs that she was using that person, trying to gain something from that person, or trying to take something from that person. This person just presented it as a failsafe. So I can understand how she felt offended, but I can also understand why that person would feel the need to have it. But me personally, I would feel offended because I'm an unconditional lover. So if you present me with a prenup, it's like, damn, what I do?
But if okay, just out of the box start thinking process. Nothing to
Okay,
it. If you're a human, I'm a human.
okay,
You're imperfect. I'm imperfect. So
okay,
I don't know the degree of your imperfect,
right,
right? So just by nature, a person will be like, okay, I love you, of course. I dig you. I rock with you. But I know you're not perfect. So in an imperfect situation, I don't know how you will react. Um, like my best friend and his wife has one, and they've been together. They was together for a long time before they got married. And when they
mm-hmm.
got married, you know what I'm saying, she was cool with the prenup. And I mean, they still together to this day, got kids, happy. They don't go through the whole like money thing. But
Mm-hmm.
both of them respected the situation of of that situation because they both respected each other's financial discipline.
Right,
Um, so she respected it because she knew he loved her. Like he proved that already. But she also respected the fact that he was smart about his finances. Because guess what? If he's smart about his finances, then when we get married, I know he's gonna be smart about our finances. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
I guess it fits. It goes different ways on I guess how a person view it. But I know with her, that's how she viewed it with him, and it
mm-hmm.
worked for them. You know what I'm saying? Because she
Right.
respected his maturity of knowing how to protect his finances.
Mm-hmm. I think if instead of just like, okay, we're getting married, hey, by the way, I want you to sign this, instead of doing that, I think if you had a conversation about it, it's like, hey, I really feel like I want to get prenup for this. How do you feel about it? At that point, that's when y'all can understand each other. Even though he may still want to get the prenup, she can further understand why, or not even so much why, like she will be more comfortable with it, so then she'll accept
Right.
it instead of just like, oh, here, sign these papers. Then it was like, well, can we talk about it first?
Right. Right. I agree with that as well. I agree with the dynamic of the timing
Right.
because that matters too. It's a
Yeah.
big difference between talking to somebody 3 months, 4 months versus 2 weeks before you get married. Say, hey, this is what it is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah,
Like even
you're right.
before you
I
get
agree with that.
engaged, ask that question, how do you feel about prenup? And then
Right.
y'all can have the discussion.
True. True. True.
And then
That's true.
if she disagrees to the point where y'all don't get married, then y'all just don't get married.
Right. I agree with that. But I swear, it's like as soon as I grab one device, the other device is like about to die. It's it is crazy. What I do with my charger stuff? Gosh, hey man, it's been a crazy. This is a crazy day. Non-stop, non-stop. All right, I think I'm in the game now. I think I'm in the game now. But yeah, I mean, all right. Also, when it comes to um establishing finances when a relationship dynamic, is it beneficial to combine everything, or is it a disadvantage to
I
combine
don't agree
everything?
with combining everything. I agree with having a combined something that's combined, but to combine everything, no, because that's how you lose. I don't know if I want to say that, but that's kind of how you lose yourself. Like you don't have anything for yourself. I think that everybody, even if you're married, should have something for yourself. So I think there should be
True.
something that's combined, but I think there should be something that's individual as well.
Right. Right.
Not a
Right.
secret though, because then if you keep in secret stuff, then that's an issue within itself.
True. True. Yeah. 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 A lot of people do that kind of stuff. They be having secret accounts,
Yeah,
offshore
all this
accounts, and all
money
that kind of
somewhere.
stuff.
It's like, hold up, you been holding out?
Yeah, be having that hidden money.
Yeah,
That
man.
that
See, that I don't agree with, but I do believe that having something together and then having something separate is healthy.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too. I ain't gonna lie, like I I go in a little bit on my situation. Me and Trish has we have a joint checking, but we have separate savings accounts.
Hmm.
Because the reason why is because we save for different things. Like Trish could probably be saving for like our next trip,
Hmm.
and I can be saving on paying off something. Cause that's
Right.
something I like to do. I'll save something to pay some shit off, or she'll be like, hey, she gonna save something for a next vacation trip or whatever. So
Hmm.
it's like I feel you on that. Like you don't want to steal away, you don't want to rob your identity of how you operate with your finances.
Right.
Uh, and cause like I said, with her, she might want to save for something different, and I do too. And we both respect that and understand that. So it's like you want to have that. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
want to have that. So I agree with you on that. I
But
totally,
that's a good
totally agree.
balance too, as well, because while you're thinking fiscally responsible, she's thinking we need to take a break.
Right, the yin and the yang,
Yeah.
and that works. That dynamic is what I don't know. Do you ever read Dave Ramsey?
Mm.
All right, with Dave Ramsey, he's like called a financial makeover. He have like a bunch of books. He does a lot of classes online and stuff. But with Dave Ramsey, he always say that. He said in a relationship, there's a spender and there's a saver.
Hmm.
Like it's one going to do more than the other.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. But that is needed. You don't want to be in a dynamic to where everybody spends money,
Yeah. Because then you ain't gonna have
and
nothing.
you ain't gonna have nothing. And then you
Yeah.
don't want to be in a dynamic where everybody want to save,
Hmm.
cause then
You're not living.
you ain't gonna have no kind of life for real.
You
Like you
gotta
ain't gonna
live
have
it.
no life. You
That's
ain't
why
gonna
you
have
gotta
no
have a
life.
balance.
Right. So you gotta have that balance. You gotta have that balance. So let's start branching off to the structures, the dynamics.
Okay.
So the first dynamic I want to talk about is the newer one, which is this whole hypergamy. See, I got it right that time. I got it right that time. Hypergamy.
All right,
Hyper. Do you know about hypergamy?
educate me.
All right. Hypergamy is when they have this set up now where it's like a woman looks for a man that's above more a higher quality than she is. And what I mean by that is okay, just say I make just say Trish makes 30,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so she looks for somebody that makes $80,000 a year.
Okay.
That's hypergamy where you're looking for somebody that is making more value to elevate your quality of living.
Okay.
So the dynamic of what the world is trying to do or construct in this situation is it is telling men to step their game up on their financial literacy, save more, make more money, so you can be able to get these type of women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have mixed emotions with that. The good side that I like about that is that you are putting a man in a situation to where they have to elevate and they won't be complacent. Um, I always feel like a man should always be elevating themselves day to day, day to day, day to day,
Right.
doing better in what they were yesterday. So you don't want to
Right.
get complacent in handling your business. I shouldn't be the man that I was 5 years ago. I should have seen something different after 5 years, and I have. I'm in a different position than I was as a man 5 years ago, and I feel like that is important for a man to be in a different position as he elevate in life.
Right.
So I like that dynamic that you you make a man become a man for real.
Right.
And because true enough, I should because I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't even if I was like if I was in a situation as a man and I wasn't on my shit, I wouldn't want to date nobody at that time because I'd be like, as a man, my goal is to help you be secure, help you become comfortable. But I can't do that if I ain't on my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so
But okay,
I
so how do you feel about okay, say you were the man, you wasn't on your stuff, and you find a woman that meets the criteria, she makes more money than you, but she's still trying to figure life out too. A person like that, so if you're trying to figure something out and she trying to figure something out, y'all might bring something together that might uplift you both.
true, 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 true,
So
true.
she might know something that you don't, and you might not know something that she don't. So I
Right.
don't necessarily agree. Like I understand you trying to change pretty much what it is. You're trying to change your financial situation when you try to find somebody that makes more money than you. But if you're basing if you're basing your relationship off of your annual income, how does that work?
That's where I feel the mixed feelings. That's where my mixed feelings come from on that aspect of what you just said.
Because like
It's
there
like,
are
okay,
people that find relationships that are only financially suitable for them. Like that's all they want. Like they'll play the role, or they might even approach the situation like, "Hey, I make this much, you make that much. If we come together, we can be a dynamic team." And then a
right,
relationship is made. But a real relationship, you can't base nothing off of just money alone. Because then what do you have? You just have money. You just have,
correct,
yeah, I make a whole bunch of money together.
correct. So we both will agree and say that substance is important.
Yes.
Okay, okay, I can dig that. I can dig that. Substance. So substance over finance.
To start, yes, I'm gonna say yes. I'm
You
gonna
had to
say
check
yes.
yourself on out. You're like,
I'm gonna say
let's
yes.
see.
But
Yeah.
but but there's a catch 22.
Let's catch
I
22.
don't look for you can't look for people that make more money than you. But it's not because now that's on I might contradict myself.
Hey, I'm
Because
telling
if
you,
you
I'm gonna
don't
make you
have
think. I'm gonna
nothing,
make you think.
if you have nothing, then I feel like, okay, I meet you, I'm feeling you, but then in a relationship, like we talked about in the beginning, the business side, you have nothing to offer. But if you going into the relationship just on the business side, then it's a problem. So back to the beginning of the conversation, if a relationship is just business, then it might work for that business, but that's it. But if it's not just business, if it's a healthy amount of both, then you in there.
All right, I'm gonna start. I need to start opening up more about my life and my situation. So, at the beginning, as a man, I always made sure that I start preparing myself before I met the woman that I needed to be with ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure I had my 401ks in check. I made sure I had investments in check. I made sure I had a car. I made sure I had a vision. I made sure I had a steady income. I made sure I had a lot of things in place so when things happen, I would know how to handle things.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met Trish and we're together and emergencies and things started happening and things started being put in place, I was prepared for those things because I prepared for her before I met her.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like I prepared before I met her. And the way I prepared for her before I met her was in a business structure
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, hey, if I have a business, before I start my business, I need to have a business plan. And when I make my business plan, I need to make sure I have a projection. I need to make sure that I have contingency plans. I need to have a lot of things in place. I need to have a projection, a 5 year projection on how things is going to work and where my money is going to go. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I did before I met Trish. I said, okay, where things are going to be, how things are going to be in the next year. I literally planned my life ahead like a business. So when I got with her and life started happening, things started happening, even during the chaotic times, I had a plan B already set. Even when things went spiral and she's panicking, I had shit in place because I thought of my situation and my dynamic as a business first.
Mm-hmm.
So I can be
But that
emotional and be
wasn't
lovey dovey
even.
later.
But you said the key word before Trish, so it wasn't
Correct.
even something that you had planned for marriage. You was just doing that to get your life on track.
No, no.
It
I
just
mean that was for marriage too. That was for marriage
no, no,
too.
no, no, and I get that,
Okay.
but I understand what you're saying. That how it can be thought of as a way to plan for a marriage or plan while you're in a marriage in the sense of having a business plan. I get that,
Correct.
but you also have to plan for your life as well. So before you
Correct.
even
Correct.
thought
Correct.
about
Correct.
marriage,
Correct.
you was thinking about what I need to do in my life, period. So that was
Correct.
something before. Going into a marriage like that, as the business side of a marriage, that's a great thing. Like, but going into a marriage is only a business? No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I didn't go into it per se and like, hey, we're just gonna be business partners. Like, no, it was like I say it like this, and you're gonna think of an old school song when I say this. Like like finance made romance so much better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was a song like that. It was like something about romance and finance and this and that. But it's like when things are taken care of, it's like, man, like it's so easy for me to say, hey, let's go out to eat. Or hey, let me rub your feet. Or hey, let's just go out of town. Like it's so much easier to digest and be emotional attached to somebody and connect with somebody when you ain't stressing about the first and the 15th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the process of connecting is a little bit more relaxing, I would say.
Right. No, yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
yeah. Yeah. Man, you making me think about some shit because I had to pull all that out. I was like, damn, I was going through a mental journey with myself at that moment.
Really?
Yeah, I was. I was like, damn,
Lord.
that makes sense what I used to do. Yeah. But all right. So we both kind of agree with this hypergamy thing. Like, I think they reaching. I think this whole term is kind of a
Yeah.
reach,
It's
personally.
just pretty much saying I'm just trying to find somebody that's in a tax bracket higher than mine.
Yeah, man. I like I said, you could tell by like me just not even really knowing how to pronounce it that I really don't really take. I like to present this information out so people kind of know what's going on in the world and get your perspective and just kind of
Right.
dig through it and see what we discover. But yeah, it's a big reach. It's a major reach. All right. So the next dynamic, which is I feel like the most, it's actually the oldest dynamic. A lot of people for some reason don't know that or have not done the research to understand that. But monogamy is not the oldest dynamic. Poly is actually the oldest relationship dynamic.
Hmm.
So with that being said, how does business and poly life standards when it comes to relationship, how does that correlate?
Um. Ooh. Okay. So I think it can work to an extent. I think in
Right.
order for it to work, the relationship has to be solid. I don't think a new relationship, not even a new relationship, a maybe a year or two relationship can go into business because you don't really know the people that you're working with. And granted, when you go into business with a business partner, sometimes you don't really know them either. But 90% of the time, your business partner is somebody that you really, really know. With a poly relationship, especially if it's a triad, you got to be careful of the people that you have. You know what I mean? Like, of
Right.
course, you have you and your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other, but then that third person comes in. You have to make sure that they have that same business mindset because if not, the business is not going to work. One, they're not going to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. They're not going to understand the functionality of things, how uh, finances will work, how even though the business is making money, we're not yet. Like they're not going to understand that. And if you don't have that business mindset, you're always going to be frustrated with the process. You're always going to want to quit, or you're just not going to be in a relationship altogether. So I
Correct.
think if it's a triad that works, or not even just a triad, just a poly couple period, that they have that mindset that we understand business or we're in the mindset to learn to understand it, then yes, it'll work. But if that other person is like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, I just don't, it's too hard, I quit, then no, it's not going to work.
Right. Also, I'm gonna throw this disclaimer out there just in case I get a couple of complainers and all this other stuff. I am not trying to, nor is Danielle, are trying to convert anybody to be monogamous
Oh, no.
or hyper, whatever that BS word is. Or probably we're not trying to convince somebody to do anything. We're giving everybody information so you can decide what works for you. This is a content of learning, so learn. Be open minded to understand and not be closed minded. So we can continue, but we're not trying to tell nobody anything. We're just giving information to people that don't know. So you can continue. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, go ahead.
But all right, for me, I feel like everything that you said. The thing is, we get in situations where people, and I think I'm guilty of it too, is where it's a learning process. Like every relationship structure is a learning process. And for me, the poly thing, it was kind of a learning process because there's a lot of things I didn't know, and I was learning on the fly, learning things, figuring things out, putting things together in my head. The thing is, I think a lot of poly couples, what they don't do is actually really sit down and have those type of discussions. And I will admit, I had to learn that on the fly and figure this out step by step because I was new, just like we all new to everything, even with monogamy and everything. You knew the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of try to learn how things work. And I will admit, I had to learn. And when you go on these things, these are discussions that don't be discussed.
Right.
Uh, it get pushed to the back burner. Um, and one of the reasons why we gonna be honest, it starts sexual based, and that's where the biggest confusions when it comes to poly and swinging. I think it's the
Oh yeah.
confusion because the structure of poly is to grow, to gain, and to build. Swinging ain't no growing and gaining, no building or nothing like that. That has
It's
no
just
no
sex.
essence to that. Right. There's
Yeah,
just no
it's just
essence
sex.
to that. So, um, with that, I just want people to kind of get that understanding too, because a lot of people say stuff without really understanding or knowing how the terminology and the structure and things are really broken down
Right.
properly. Right. Because swinging ain't got nothing to do with building no generation wealth, none of that kind of stuff.
Like
It has nothing to do with
swinging
that.
is a lifestyle all of its own. So you
Right.
can't put it with poly. And if people don't know what poly is pretty much a couple adding someone to the relationship as a monogamous or non-monogamous, where everybody has their own individual partner.
Correct. And
So
there's different structures to it. You have triads, you have quad, you have V, you have is I forgot what the other one's called. That's all I can think of off the bat of my head. You gotta kind of I gotta have to have a chart, and I think yeah, like I said on my the shows that I'm gonna have later on. We're gonna have charts and diagrams, but there's charts for this kind of stuff.
hmm
But I'm just giving y'all the basics. It's triad, dynamic, V, where V is like the guy would be with somebody and somebody else, but those two people do not connect.
right.
That's separate. Which in the hood, and all of us black people, we do a lot of V, a lot of those. We do a lot of those, and nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do know. It's just a lot of fighting. It get a lot of fighting,
hmm
throwing tires be going on. You know what I'm saying? No
Yeah,
kind of structure, no kind of communication, no understanding. Everybody just being sneaky as hell.
just
But
doing whatever.
exactly, which that makes no sense. But okay, that's the
Anyway,
brainwashing of the matter. That's the brainwashing game of the matter. They teach us how to. They teach us something that we naturally do, and they teach it to us where we should hate, fight, and beat each other up for it. But that's something that we are naturally designed to be. It blows my mind. But yeah,
I
who am
mean,
I? Who am
everybody
I to
have
say?
their preferences, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's one thing I try to explain to people. This is my perfect example for poly. My perfect example is a person should love as much as they can handle.
Yep.
Don't go over your cup. You know what I'm
Look
saying?
over your cup.
stay at the level that you could, just like alcohol. If you know your limit is half a cup, stop trying to drink the whole damn cup. You know what I'm saying? Drink that half a cup and just
That'd be
sit there.
good.
You ain't got to drink because everybody else is drinking. And I think that's where people messes up too. In poly, sometimes in poly, people don't know their limits and don't know what what they're capable of and what they're not capable of and what they can maintain. And the same thing with, and even the same thing with any other dynamic, even with monogamy. Like you gotta be able to know what you can handle and what you can deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know you're a type of person that don't like talking, then do not get in a relationship with somebody that's a chatterbox.
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that because,
Explain, talk to me,
like
talk to
we
me.
spoke about with the yin and yang, you don't want to be with somebody that's just as quiet as you are, and y'all never talk about anything. You kind of want somebody that's a talker. Like, say if I'm not so much of a talker and I'm with
Okay,
somebody that is, they're gonna bring me out of that. We're gonna have conversations all the time. It's not that I don't have anything to say. You can always have stuff to say. You just
okay.
don't feel comfortable saying it.
I can dig that. I can dig that. I can dig
So
it.
yin and yang, remember?
Right? Right. I'm with you. But hey, listen. I have no problem saying when I'm wrong, goddamn. You right. You right. I, I ain't look at it like that, but that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Like I said, cause Trish like to go to Amazon, and I hate Amazon. It don't work.
See, see, yin and yang.
Damn, I hate I
Correct.
hate the hell out of Amazon. I hate that shit, man. God, I hate when that shit drive in my driveway and pull
Oh,
up.
really?
I hate
Why?
it. I hate it.
That's a whole
Yeah,
nother
I hate it.
conversation.
Yeah, it is. We getting off topic. I'm talking about damn
Come
Amazon
on.
shopping. All right, so back to the dynamics of relationship and the dynamics of business. Okay, so what works in your opinion? This is not factual. We're just talking opinion, people.
Okay.
What dynamic would create general wealth faster, in your opinion?
As far as a poly relationship,
Like poly or monogamy or this other third unknown title structure. Uh,
oh,
what creates generational wealth faster?
I don't think I don't see.
I mean, can I give you an example of
Okay,
something real
so
quick?
okay, here's. I don't think the type of relationship is what's going to create the generational wealth. I think it's the understanding of the people in the relationship. So regardless if it's monogamous single, monogamous triad, quad, however, if like I said before, if everybody in the relationship understands what we need to do to grow, then the status or the dynamic of the relationship doesn't matter. But in the context of the question, I guess we could say because I'm poly that a triad would be good because you have three people bringing in something. Even if we're
Right.
running a business together, we're all contributing to the business. We're all making money off of the business. So together, yes, we'll generate generational wealth. But that would also work with a monogamous or a regular monogamous relationship with just two people. It can work the same exact way with the business as well. If they're both working in the business to create wealth for the business and for the business to grow, you're growing your family as well.
Right. I
So,
I want to give you an example of something.
okay.
And when I heard the story, I was like, wow. At first, I was like, wow, wow. But then after I let it digest, I was like, damn, wow. Like that shit actually worked. All right. So somebody at one point got married to this lady, right?
Hmm.
He owned a major supermarket, right? He got married to another family that was strong in ties of money, but he
Okay.
mostly generated majority of the money based on the supermarket, right? So when his wife died, he married her sister
Okay.
and kept the money in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And when she died, he married the other sister and kept the money
In the
in the
family.
family.
Okay.
And what that did was it helped them generate continuously amount of money throughout the family from kid to kid to kid to kid to kid. And it
Mm-hmm.
stayed in their family. It never went outside of the household,
Mm-hmm.
ever. And this family still today still got money,
Okay.
lots of it,
Okay.
because they never separated the ties of the money. The thing is, we would never do that. And this wasn't a black family, might I add. This wasn't a black family.
Okay.
Like this was not our color. So they know how to create and keep money in the family. Where a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us don't because of our own selfish pride and our own ego to where like and the jealousy and the envy comes in place where it's hard for I ain't gonna say a lot of us, but some of us to understand the strength of poly because what you gotta understand is if something happens to me, my wife is going to another man that has a whole different dynamic than my mom, my brothers, and all of them. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The bus will stop with me.
Okay.
But when you create a dynamic of three, four, whatever, whatever, if one of us, knock on wood, just say somebody passed or died, you still got that dynamic still in place where the money is going where it's supposed to. It
Right.
never changes. It never drops off. And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of things. Even with kids, like just say a father, wife passed, and the kids are grown, right? And he remarried. He
Mm-hmm.
remarried, right? And the wife don't like the kids, right? And so when he passes, the money and just say he didn't have a will or he didn't have one structured properly, and all the money goes to her, and she's spiteful. That money never goes back to the family.
Yeah, but in that sense, with family money, with old money, there's always going to be a prenup, with no question. Who, regardless,
No,
like,
I'm telling you, not all the time. Because what happened is, if you don't have an active will, that shit get lost in circulation.
okay, I can get that. And if you don't do that, then it's unfortunate that all your money just went to the spouse. But in that situation, especially that coming into it, you should probably understand. Oh, this is old money. I agreed to this because I know at the end of the day, I'm still going to get something regardless. Like when prenups happen, especially in like that in situations where it's a lot of money involved and it's money that's generation and generation and generation, regardless if you divorce that person or not, you're still going to get something. You're just not going to get what you think you're going to get. Like you're not about to get half of they millions. Nah, you ain't about to get that. You might get like half a million to get sent on your way.
I like when I was in Alabama, and I stayed in Birmingham, and it's an area called Mountain Brook, which where all the rich white people stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, I work in a cable company, so I be in a lot of people's houses. So
Right.
I hear a lot of business, and a lot of people tell me their business. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why. I don't know why white people love talking to me. So anyway, I'm working at this house, big ass fucking house. Oh my god, it was big. So the dude um was dying. He was dying, and he
Mm-hmm.
had a real conversation with me. He was
Okay.
dying. So he was like, come here, son. And I was like, who the fuck is he talking to? So I went over to him, talking to him, because I had finished the job, but he wanted to talk to me. And he was like, man, I wish I would have did everything different. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, because he was like, one thing I messed up at was I did not know how to. I didn't understand how to distribute my wealth
Mm.
to the ones that loved me. He was like, I spoiled everybody rotten. So he was like, nobody earned my love and earned my. He was like, nobody earned my love and my money.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand what he meant by that until he started talking more. But he was like, because one thing he messed up was he was like with his sons and his daughters, the money he gave them, that money was gone. And he was like, he knew when he died, the bus was going to stop there because he was like, with, he was like, he wished he would have had, I ain't gonna lie, he said, he said, I wish I would have had more wives. He was like, the reason why he said that, because the wife he had that he married to, and the kids he had, they all had her mindset.
Mm.
So he was like, if I would have did over with, I would have had different people so they can teach. So he would have been able to have different people. All his kids would have had different kind of outlooks based off who was raising them. Because he was like, he failed on that end. And he was like, and there's nothing he can do about it. And he was like, damn. He was like, hey, make sure you married and know who's teaching your kids.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, true enough, she had them. He was like, she had them. But he was like, you better watch. He was like, you better watch. You know how they be getting them old folks, they have the eyes, you better watch. You know what I'm saying? That's so I was like, all right, I got it. But and I'm just tying back to what you were saying with the whole, the married and doing things right. Everybody, when it comes to a lot of money, a lot of people don't know how to handle a lot of money. So it's really hard for a lot of people to do the right thing.
Right.
With a lot of money. Maybe with $5, $10. But when you're talking 50,000, million, 100,000, 20, you know what I'm saying, 200,000, like a lot of people start changing their outlook about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some for the better, some for the worse. And that's what kind of money he was having. Because if you would have saw his yard and his house, you would be like, yeah, he was sitting on something. But he was miserable as hell. Because he knew he did it wrong. He said he did it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to like tell people like, man, like a lot of stuff that we're taught, we gotta really go outside the box of how we learn things that make sense, that will work. Because a lot of stuff, a lot of ways we're doing things aren't working. It's not working. We have to change our different views on how we're passing our money around.
Right.
Because like honestly, low key, the wealth of how the money is being maintained, even the white people are losing their money, like currently, because their lineage, the kids down, they effing that money up. They effing it up.
The generations are different too. The needs and wants are different. Keeping up with the Joneses is more expensive than ever. So I can understand that completely.
Yeah,
I
they
definitely
up.
understand that.
Yeah, so, but like that's the bottom line is, do what works for you.
Right.
I guess that's the bottom line. Do what works for you.
I do agree that a poly relationship can work in a business setting as long as the people understand the business. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you think? All right. So with that being said, when it comes to how do I want to say this? How do you establish who has what role on the financial side of the decision making when it comes to a poly dynamic? Like, how does that structure work? You know how we talked earlier about the joint accounts and individual accounts
Mm-hmm.
and the this and the that. So in those structures, how does everybody sit down and discuss who makes those calls on the financial side?
I the whoever's the most fiscally responsible. That's pretty much how you figure it out. Like you sit down and you discuss uh, who's more financially educated, like who understands or who's able to keep up with balancing the budget and on both the business and financial side. Because you got to remember, if you have a business together, you're getting income from your business and then whatever else everybody else is doing.
Right.
So it has to be someone that understands finances or at least good with balancing it. Now,
Right.
everybody might have an understanding of it, but there might be that one person that's just a little better than the rest of them. That's the person who I would say, I ain't gonna say controls it, but monitors the joint aspect of their finances. Everybody sees it, everybody knows what's going on, so there's no secret, but there's that one person that handles everything, so it's not too many hands in the pot.
I got a great question for you. You
What's
might
that?
add this, and it just hit me while you were talking. And when you said something, that light bulb hit off. Why does most poly, and I really do mean most, because a lot of them are like this. Most poly minded people start their own business.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean,
Most of the poly people I know got their own start their own
okay.
business. I mean, I'm dead serious. I'm not even lying. I honestly can say this out my mouth. I don't know no poly minded person that haven't started becoming an entrepreneur. Like
Mm,
I really can't find one that I know personally. All of them have. I want to start my own. I want to grow my own vegetables, agriculture wise. Like all I'm telling you, it's like it's weird. It's like once your mind open to that, it's like you become like very self sufficient, very independent, and very agricultural for some reason. Cause that's how I am. Like I ain't think shit about agriculture until my mind started going into different mindsets of things. And I'm like, damn, I want to farm. I want to plant stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it got to that point after that point, and that's weird.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's your decision of how you love. I just think that's just where your head's at, like how you think. Because I know probably people that not even don't even want to own a business.
Really?
Yeah,
Maybe just a crowd of people I know.
it
Then
might.
I
Yeah,
don't
it might
know.
just be your people.
Might just be the energy that I attract. Hey, everybody want to do their own shit, and it just comes my direction, huh? Cause
Yeah.
yeah, it's like everybody. I swear, everybody is very like self sufficient, very self sufficient. Um, I guess okay. Okay. All right, I got another stats for you. I read some stats, and they say most successful poly couples have very have kids that understand reality very well.
Yes,
Is that
because they
true?
don't lie to their kids. They want their kids to understand what's going on. Because if you don't tell a child what's going on, they just gonna think that's just an extra person living in their house. And some
And
people don't agree with explaining it to their kids, but I think if you explain
right,
it to your kids, if you explain it to your kid, then one, they will grow up with a more open mind, and two, they will know who the extra person is in their house.
right, that you got to at that point. Yeah, like who the hell is this person? Like this person stay here? Like what's going on? So yeah, that actually gotta be explained. But yeah, for some, I'm telling you, I read a stat, I read a couple of stats, and I watched a couple of podcasts that actually verified and confirmed is the stats I researched, and they said that on top of that, it said that like those kids actually have a more successful life.
Yeah.
Like they have a more successful life. And I see that too. Like I honestly see that too. I really I see a lot of situations where it's like, damn, like them kids are well put together. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but
Like,
there's a lot of people that don't agree that children should even be introduced. But some of those people are the same people that don't believe that children should be raised by gay men and women, lesbians or gay men or transgender. You know, it's those same people that feel that way. But all it is just a different dynamic to a relationship. So I do think that a child should. I think honestly that you should explain things to children so they can understand life, because they're just little people trying to learn the same thing you tried to learn.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you just, if you introduce it, or not even so much introduce it, just explain to them what it is, then they'll be like, okay, they'll understand what it is. That's just like a lesbian couple that have kids. That you explain to them, you have to explain to the kid that, hey, this is mommy's wife or this is mommy's girlfriend.
Right.
Same thing.
True. True. True that. True that. True that. True that.
It's
True
just a
that.
different dynamic to a relationship.
Yeah. Facts. 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 Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can dig that. I can dig that. I mean, like I said, I've always been an open book with mine, so I always have as much realistic conversations as I can, so they can, like you said, so they can understand and they can
Right.
process things better, process information better.
Yeah. Like, I remember
And
a conversation I actually had with my daughter.
yeah,
Because she had asked me about, she had seen something and she was like, Mommy, is it okay if two girls kiss? And I was like, if two girls love each other, then yes, it's okay.
right,
So, and then I explained to her, I explained to her that it's what it was with the name, like the title for it, and pretty much that it was okay for her. So now it's okay.
right,
Couple of months later, she's watching or she's listening to a podcast on Spotify called Two Princesses.
right.
Two Princes. And her dad's like, what is this? I was like, no, it's okay. She understands it.
Yeah.
She knows she understands what she's listening to. He was like, okay. So you explain it to your kid, they won't be surprised.
Right, right. The goal is self awareness.
Yeah.
You allow a kid to become more self aware, man. Like life will be easier for them to comprehend and manage.
And then you get
Um,
in there, you allow them the option to, if they are that or if they're not, or if they want to be friends with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you give them the options to life.
right, right, right. That part. Because I feel like that's one of the biggest issues we have now is the fact that the standards, the expectations of how kids should feel, want, think, and understand, they're kind of in a limbo, which causes them to be depressed, have anxiety, and things like
Hmm.
that, because they don't know or understand and don't really have anybody that has logic to talk to about the stuff.
Right.
Um, yeah, because like I said, I like even with my daughter friends, you know what I'm saying? Like I stay have to talk to all of them because like their parents don't talk to them about shit. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, they don't have like the real conversations that they need to be having. And it's scary because like it's so many like this in this situation. They
Yeah.
scared to have those type of real conversations with each other at all. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what
Yeah,
it is.
and then that's when all types of family. It's just families too that like they. If you don't know how to, but that goes with communication too. Because if you don't know how to communicate, then you can't express those
Facts. 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 So what you're saying is like everybody should like join a class for public speaking or something.
things. No, I ain't saying that. Just say how you feel. Like if you tell people how you feel, they'll never misinterpret or assume anything. Like, hey, I feel this way because of this, or I want this and this is why. And then you have a conversation.
But that's the thing. I feel like people that, how can I put it? You say, okay, you tell a person how they feel, right? Just say, I tell you like, hey, I feel like when I get off the scene, I feel like I need to go get some Krispy Kreme donuts, right? So you'll be like, well, Dante, it's late. It's bad for you. Why in the fuck you need to go get Krispy Kreme? You need to drink some water to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is, like, when some people discuss how they feel, what tends to happen is a person is going to change your feelings into what they feel like you should do. You know what I'm saying?
See, and that's called manipulation.
Right.
That's not how that works.
That part. Instead of understanding where they're coming from.
Well, there are people that don't know how to listen. They only hear to respond. They don't listen to comprehend.
Correct.
And at that point, if it's a relationship, you figure out if you want to continue to be with that person that don't care about how you feel. Or if it's in a business sense, you really got to sit down and be like, hey man, this is how I feel. I need you to understand because this is our baby. In a relationship, it should kind of be the same way. Going back to that 50% part of business in a relationship, you need to really communicate and understand with anybody, period. Even if we're just two people having a conversation. If I'm telling you how I feel, I'm expecting you to understand what I'm saying and respond accordingly, not just hear what I'm saying and just respond.
Facts. Big facts right there. Yeah.
And then not everybody want to hear what you say anyway.
Yeah, that part.
So
Yeah,
they just feel how they feel and that's it.
man, I'm gonna show you. It was petty, but I'm gonna show you like a petty moment that had happened on Facebook one time. I was like, it blew my mind because it was just like so minute, but so weird and stupid at the same time. Like, I was like this one lady on Facebook, and she was complaining about something. And so, like, you go down the thing, everybody's like agreeing with her, sympathizing with her. And so, me and this other guy disagreed and was like, hey, want. And then, like, I had went back. Hell, it wasn't even like a minute, maybe a minute or two. She'd have deleted my opinion and the dude opinion. And I'm like, okay, so why you put your feelings on here if you don't want to listen to other people's opinion? Obviously, you just want everybody to feel what you feel instead of you.
Joys of social media.
And I told Trish, I like, see, this is why I don't fuck with these people. I was like, this is why I don't really be. I try not to really like give my opinions and comments with a lot of things because it's like a lot of people say stuff on their timelines just for people to agree. And
how that song go? Know when to hold them.
Yeah.
Gotta know.
It was a shocker. It was a shocker because it was so minute. It wasn't nothing like really big to like just delete people's opinion. Like,
right.
You just filtering through the so how do one become better? And that's one thing she had kept saying before then was like trying to do better, this and this and that. But you're not gonna become better if you stay in the same mindset and you don't want diversity in your conversation. Like me, I'm willing to have diversity in my conversations to where you have your opinions, I have my opinions, somebody else have their opinions, and we all can agree and respect each other's opinions
Mhm.
instead of getting oversensitive of it and just avoiding the whole opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like that part is what people gotta do better on. Cause oh
Yeah,
man,
I agree. Like we have to be able to have a conversation without getting our feelings hurt. And not everybody's capable of that, obviously, as we know, because there's people all over. Like you can express how you feel about something, and because they don't like it, they don't want to hear it.
right.
But then that's what we have to figure out. Do we want to continue this conversation, or do we want to bid you adieu and keep it moving?
Yeah. Yeah, I unfriend her off my thing. I just you know my goddamn time. I was like unfriend immediately. I can't with this person on my fucking timeline. Cause you know it all cause it's the fact is like she stayed on my timelines for some reason, like I keep getting all her stuff. So it was like when I saw that and she took my thing, I was like, okay, I gotta get this person off my damn thing because I'm always keep getting her information. It's gonna just work my nerves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me just get this shit off my damn. So I don't have to see her damn comments all the damn time, her feelings all the time. So yeah, man. Ah, it felt good after I got her ass off my shit.
Oh my goodness!
And I don't even deal with it like that, but that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. Man,
Wow.
bad. Very bad.
Okay.
But yeah, but other than that, I mean, I'm pretty much done with my topics. If you got any other topics you want to bring up, we can. Other than that, we can do our closing talk for the night.
Actually, my niece had a question about Polly.
Okay.
Her question was, hold on, let me pull it up.
And we got requests. Okay. We got to start. I need to start doing more requests. Hey.
Yes, one of her questions was about Polly. How do you control or handle jealousy and trust issues?
Ooh, you know what? I actually was going to talk about that, but I kind of bypassed that and was
Yeah.
talking about the business. But okay, let's talk about jealousy. And you said trust.
Mm-hmm.
All right, jealousy. This is what I felt. This is what my opinions. I always want to say my opinion. My opinion is we were programmed to be jealous. We weren't born with jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
We got that from somewhere. Just like we was programmed to eat meat. Like I did not come out my mom and say I want a burger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like somebody gave me a burger.
Right.
Somebody showed me burgers on TV with a guy with red hair and big ass lip and lipstick. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
somebody showed me, gave me, I heard it, and they all this saying, "Hey, I want a fucking burger." You know what I'm saying? Same thing with jealousy. Jealousy is the same thing. Somebody I saw two guys outside fighting over a female because he was jealous. I
Right.
see news where people get shot and killed because they was jealous. I
Mm-hmm.
listen to music about jealous. I watch music videos with people being jealous about this and jealous of that. Like so after a while when you hear the word, say the word, see the word, you can manifest it. Just like I can think I want a degree. I can say I'm about to get this degree. And then I can apply for a class, study, work hard, finish my classes, and guess what? I got a degree. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful with our God like ways to where we not only manifest good traits, but we can manifest bad traits. And that one of those traits is jealousy. And that shit can grow a lot and it can get real hard to come off of you. Um, so when it comes to that, the first key is to recognize that you're jealous. But see, this is the biggest problem. The biggest problem is a lot of people be like, I'm jealous, and just leave it at that. like, damn, you ain't gonna fix it. You just fine with your.
Yeah.
It's almost like me saying I beat women, and that's it. I'm like, I beat women. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
What?
It's the same thing. People don't understand that when you're telling me you're jealous, that means you are prone to be jealous and
Right.
dangerous. Like you might fuck some shit up, and that's dangerous. That's
Yeah.
same way me saying, hey, I might beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that. I'm not even trying to fix that problem. And that's where a lot of women have problems at, and men too, is once we say it, we cool with it and we don't work on it. Like, okay, so because I always ask that question. So after you say that, what's next? Nah, I just ain't gonna put myself in a situation. I'm like, but do you understand you always gonna be in that situation?
Right.
Like when you date, 9 times out of 10, if you date a man that got his shit together and he know he got his shit together, he's gonna be talking to you with somebody else. 9 times out of 10. Cause he's gonna try to find out who's the one. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing monogamy. You know what I'm saying? This is what people gotta understand. That is the chance and the risk goal that you play when you play with monogamy. The fact is, it only can be one. So guess what? That works both ways. Like you might just want one man, but guess what? I might just want one woman. So that means it's either gonna be you or her. One or two in. It goes both ways. Somebody's gonna be a loser in this situation.
Right.
So women gotta understand that yes, you gotta work on that jealousy because that same jealousy trait will make you fail in a monogamous relationship.
So are you saying that only women get jealous?
Oh, I'm just saying, like in my perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, men get jealous. That's why I said the whole I beat women because men. That's men thing. And I remember back in the day I used to hear that shit, and women used to think that shit was cute. Like yeah, he said he'll whoop my ass, but I ain't. Like that was back in the hood. Back in the hood, that's how shit used to be. And they used to think that shit was cute. And we used to be like, nah, like that nigga would really beat your ass for real. They know that's not a funny thing. Like, nah, he would really beat your ass for real. But it's like people used to joke on that and they used to think it was cute. Like us, like men, we was stupid like that too. When women had attitudes and was feisty and shit, we used to think that shit was cute. Until you get in a relationship with her and she doing crazy shit. You're like, man, oh, that motherfucker's crazy. I don't think we should the guy with her.
They crazy.
It's like we think those traits is cute and cool until you get involved with that person and then you realize the dangers of it. That's why it needs to be worked on and fixed and find out where it came from and what's causing you to hold that pain. Because jealousy ain't nothing but pain.
Yes. I think jealousy is just a trait that some people have that nobody likes to have. Like nobody wants to be jealous. That's just because who wants to be jealous? Like I know.
That's you.
But nobody wants to live in jealousy.
There's a lot of people out here that want to be jealous, and they cool with it. They cool with it.
That's like living in anger. You just angry all the time.
A lot of women like to be angry.
You can't. Don't say okay.
I mean, I'm just saying on my experience. I from seeing women and knowing women. You know what I'm saying? Like most of my homeboys are calm and cool collective. I don't really hang out with aggravating ass dudes and crazy ass dudes. So I can't speak on that because I don't put myself in those positions to deal with crazy ass dudes all the time. But knowing women and dealing with women, I have known and seen that they are completely fine with being jealous, or they are completely fine with.
You're generalizing.
I mean, okay, some but not all. I say
there
that.
You go.
Some but not all. some but not all, have demonstrated that. You know what I'm saying? That has demonstrated that.
And there are some. Don't try to discredit your species. Now, men are crazy too.
I trust me. I don't think you ever been on my show, but I always talk about the stupid shit men do. I always talk about the stupid shit we do. Best
Don't
believe
discredit God now. I'm not going to say
they-
that there aren't some women out there that don't do crazy things.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, I take accountability of the stupid shit.
yeah, I
that
take crazy to a whole nother level.
Dude, we're not crazy. We're stupid. It's a difference.
No, I'm not going to.
I'm okay.
Stupid implies you don't know what you're doing. Stupid implies you don't know what you're doing.
My philosophy. This is my philosophy. My philosophy is women are crazy, men are stupid. The reason why men are stupid is because we do a lot of shit and didn't think about it. Like we'll be like,
you're reactive. I wouldn't say y'all stupid. I just don't think before you act.
Right. That's stupid. That is stupid to me. Well, that's stupid to a lot of us men because we done had this meeting. We done had a man meeting and we all agreed that we do stupid shit. Okay. And we've accepted that. Now the question is, have y'all accepted y'all crazy?
And you know doggone well. Women say, a lot of women say all the time, "Oh, I'm crazy."
Right.
Like first of all, we all crazy. We just don't know how crazy we are. We all got a little bit of insanity in
us. I say it's levels. It's levels. You know, that's why I always tell people, get with the crazy that you can handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But my hippie mindset is, who's to say what's crazy? What's your definition of crazy?
That's good. That's a good question. Okay, I got the definition of crazy. Crazy is when you do something based off of a decision that has zero logic to
it. Okay. So the zero logic, huh?
Yeah, no logic.
I say something.
But they did that. You be like, I don't know what the fuck made you do that. Like I can't even explain. They can't even explain sometimes why they do it. They be like, I don't know why I did it. I don't know.
Out of anger?
Huh?
Out of anger, probably.
That's still crazy. That's still crazy. Why do certain situations? It'll be like, why did you let you? Why did you get yourself to that point to where you were that angry that you did that situation?
Okay, I can agree with that. There should be a limit to what you would do, but you know, everybody. Some people don't have that limit, just like some people don't have filters. Some people don't have that limit. It's 0 or 100. That's it.
Yeah, I know I ain't got no filter. I don't got no filter, man. I have. But I've been doing better though. But yeah, it's like I said, it's all about just finding. At the end of the day, find what works for you. Find the crazy that works for you. Find the stupid that works for you. You know what I'm saying? Just all about finding what works for you.
So, in terms of combating jealousy, I would say, as long as there's an open form of communication, because I'm all about communication. If we can't come together and talk and discuss things, then it's not going to work for me, because I'm not a yeller, I'm not a screamer, I'm not an arguer. I don't do none of that. Like, we need to sit down and have an adult conversation about what's wrong.
Right.
And when it comes to jealousy, if say me, you, and Trish was in a triad, and I started feeling jealous, if I don't tell you how I feel, y'all not gonna know.
True.
And then if I do tell you how I feel and you don't receive what I'm saying, then that's going to be an issue too. So that's why I think a healthy form of communication is phenomenal, because as long as everybody know, one, where they stand, how each other feels, and also understand that when there is a problem that you're able to come to each other to talk, then that, I feel, is how you can kind of control the whole jealousy. And trust is the same as well. If I feel
Right.
like I can come to you and talk to you, then I know you'll be able to come to me and talk to me. So that way we can build that trust. Because if something does, like I said, happen, then you'll come and like, hey, X, Y, and Z happened. And then you're like, oh man, well, what we gonna do? Or how we
Right.
gonna fix it, or how we can prevent it from happening again.
Right. Yeah, true that, true that, true that. So the communication is what will combat the jealousy. Openness,
For me,
openness.
yeah.
I feel like that's for people that have no trauma in their life.
I don't agree.
Like, okay, let me give you something. All right.
Okay.
Like I have healed myself from the trauma that I had over in my life when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw my auntie get killed. That
Mm-hmm.
really fucked me up when I was a kid, and I had been fucked up for a long time. So I say when I hit 30 is when I became at a better place in my life, healed from the trauma, approached to me. That's when I peaked to manhood.
Mm-hmm.
When I hit 30 and got myself together as a man and see things differently now as a man. So now with me, if you come at me and you like, hey, I'm going out of town. I'm like, all right, cool. Have a good time. Be safe. Won't. Because I've healed from some trauma. Now, if it was Dante and two when I was 26, you'd be like, hey, I'm going out of town. All right, when we leaving? You know what I'm saying? When we
Like,
going?
we going out of town?
What time? When I got packed? When we coming back? You know,
Okay, in that aspect, I get you.
you know what I'm saying? Like when we coming back? Cause of my insecurities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My insecurities, my
What?
fear of you. Cause I
Right.
got like that shit for me up to a point where it's like I'm super protective. I'm super
Mm-hmm.
protective with my mom. I'm just super protective because just the fear. But now like I'm better now. I'm much better than how I used to be. That's why like with Trish, like like I handle things different now with her
Mm-hmm.
versus how I used to be because I had to heal myself. So the openness is easier for me to handle versus when I was younger. I wouldn't be able to.
But that goes with too not being able to communicate and receive information. Because even if you have trauma, yes, that might make it harder for you to kind of understand someone else or get where that person is coming from, because like that person can be genuine and sincere and just all about you. But if you have some type of trauma, I do agree now, because I understand the point. But if
Yeah,
you do have some type of trauma, or if you're not able to communicate or receive information, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. Because then, like you said, when we going out of town, because you're not going by yourself.
real shit.
And then that's a whole issue. Because now it's like, oh, you don't trust me. Why would you
Yeah,
come with me on a business trip? Why wouldn't you want me to come? You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole thing.
a whole nother pot of worms right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And even with my daughter, even with Shanti, when she go places, it's like if the old me would have been like, hell no, you know what I'm saying? But I have evolved, and like I said, just working on myself, I'm able more to like I said, be more open, be
Right.
settled, secure, be cool with things more. So I don't approach a lot of things that way now. I'm more accepting. That's why
Mhm.
I'm telling you, I feel like that's one of our biggest problems in our community is that a lot of us get in relationships or have kids while we're in trauma. And while you're in that kind of mental trauma and the mental stress, it's hard to have relations with somebody
Mhm.
and have a relationship with your kids. You know what I'm saying? And process their process and have the patience for them.
Mhm.
Like you have to be, you gonna have stress in life, but the traumatic level is where
Right.
we need to be at. And I feel like a lot of us are, and that's what hinders us in the bonding, the growing together thing is the trauma, which comes with the whole jealousy thing.
Yeah. But the only way for I think is to kind of handle your drama is, I mean, your trauma rather, is to kind of face it. And if you can't face it, uh, oh, that's kind of hard.
Ooh, it's a word we ain't even used yet that it just popped in my head.
What's that?
You know how you can combat jealousy?
How so?
Being submissive.
Mm.
Being submissive. You don't like that word, but it's true. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not just saying. See, you're thinking just in a woman way, but a man also can be not submissive, but what's the word for a man? Supportive. I say that
So
supportive.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. For
Okay.
one, man shouldn't be submissive at all. That is a trait a man should not. That makes the difference between a man and a woman. A man should not be submissive. I don't even respect the submissive man. Like I don't.
Mm, why?
No.
Why? Okay. So we about to have
Let's have a
whole
talk. Let's
off-topic
have a talk.
conversation right now. Why is it submissive for a woman but supportive for a man?
Because for one, like we just discussed a minute ago about this whole jealousy game. Jealousy is an emotional thing that a lot of women have. Some, but not all, but a majority. Men, we have aggression issues because of our testosterone levels. Our testosterone,
We are not about to separate jealousy by X and Y chromosomes. That's what we not about to do. Jealous is jealous regardless. Jealous is jealous regardless.
what is the root? What's the root from a jealousy? Where does the root come from?
What do you mean?
What's the root of jealousy? There's a root to everything. Like for instance, what's the root of my masculinity?
Nah, we're not comparing jealousy with that.
No, we're breaking down stuff. Okay, then what is the root? What is the root to my shoot? I can even say this. What is the root to my my dominant ways? For me being dominant, I'm a very dominant person. What is the root of me being dominant? Where does that come from?
Your personality.
And where does my personality generates from?
You tell me.
Don't we have DNA?
That's
Don't we have DNA? We have DNA.
so. Are you trying to tell me
I'm listening.
that being jealous is a female trait? Is that what you saying?
No, now you got Alpha Rap song. I ain't talking about that.
Nah, I mean,
The trait. What I'm saying, the root of our ways is stemmed from how we are designed and from even from what we eat. Like you know how like somebody like for instance, I give you a perfect example. I ain't gonna say no names. I just go and I'm not talking about Trish or Trish Watch. I'm talking about somebody else. She gonna know what I'm talking about when I say this. Like the person that birthed me, okay? Like one thing I've always watched how she ate and what she ate. And it's always a certain type of food she used to eat. I used to be like, damn, Like once I researched it, I realized that that type of food was actually good for me, not for her. And that's one reason why like I even eat more of it now than I used to. Just like I don't eat anything with soy in it. You know what I'm saying? Because that does something totally different to my mindset and how I operate, how I act versus blueberries, sweet potatoes, things like that. Certain things helps with my hormonal balance versus it can hurt my hormonal balance, it can help my hormonal balance. That's one reason why I always tell people don't eat that church's chicken. Eat that church's chicken, big ass damn chickens got steroids and shitload of testosterone.
Right.
Which testosterone is good for men, not good for women like that. It's good to keep you balanced, but you don't need to have a fucking override of fucking testosterone. That's not good. That causes aggression, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have aggression, which you ain't supposed to have, which men take steroids when they play sports, okay, but most women lately has become extremely aggressive versus being less aggressive. Like, so my question is for you is it natural for a woman to be aggressive?
Yes. Why
Why?
wouldn't it be? Because it's an emotional trait that everybody has. So why do you feel that women aren't supposed to be aggressive? Why aren't we?
Because women are nurturers
Yes,
and
we
you know,
can be nurturing.
how you gonna be aggressive and nurturing that same? Ain't that what men? How
So
does
what? Okay, so wait. What do you call it when a mother is protecting her child? Is she not being aggressive and nurturing?
no,
What do you mean?
no,
How is she
no,
not being aggressive and nurturing?
no.
If she's
Okay, so
protecting her child?
have you ever heard the story of the bird that laid on her on her baby birds, trying to protect them from the vultures, and while she's
Okay,
protecting them from the vultures, she smothered them to death, trying to be a
okay.
great.
Let me be more specific.
Okay,
If your child is being attacked,
okay,
or no, I'm not even gonna say being attacked. Say your child is being bullied,
okay.
and it's to the point where the child is now coming home crying, the bully's beating the child up. You are now an aggressive parent or an aggressive mother nurturing your child. You're going to aggressively handle the situation at this point. Women are my whole point is this. My whole point is this. Just because we are women, it does not mean that we aren't allowed to be aggressive, that we aren't allowed to be upset, and we aren't allowed to be emotional. What I don't like is how some men try to use certain emotions and make it only to females, i.e., jealousy. I know way more men that are jealous than I do women, and most of my friends now are women. I know a lot of more men that are submissive because what happens when Trish says, "Oh, we're going to do this," and you be like, I don't really feel like. She be like, "Nah, we're gonna go," and you be like, "All right, what did you just do? You just submitted. You don't feel like going, but you're going. That is you being submissive. So don't say men can't be submissive or men aren't supposed to be submissive. You submit to a lot of things. You just don't see it that way. You're being submissive.
I put it like this. I put it like this. You said it perfectly earlier. Yes, you're allowed to be upset. Yes, you're allowed to be emotional. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Um, like if Trish told me to do something and I didn't want to do it, but I do it anyway. For me, yes, I do submit. I will submit to her for that. But it's because at the end of the day, I trust in her decision. So yeah, I'm gonna submit. Now, But I think that's more like, for instance, when you were saying about the whole like going to the kids getting beat up, so you're gonna be, aggressive about how to handle that. Not necessarily, because if it's a boy, I wouldn't even want you to get involved in that. I'd be like, hey, he gotta learn how to stand up for himself and handle that. You don't need to get, because I even told Trish that one time, like when we talk about Neo and stuff like that, and I always tell Neo and the kids, like I raised him different than I raised my daughters because he's a male. So I give him different roles and responsibilities versus I give Ashanti and Rianne. Now don't get me wrong, I bite all their heads off equally, but it's certain things I put more pressure on him versus them because our roles are not the same. As much as we want it to be, but it's not. Like identity and equality is not the same. Those are not the same word. Identity and equality are two different words. So are we equal? Yeah. Our identity the same? No.
Obviously not.
Right. It's not the same. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's certain things that you're gonna respond and act to that I'm not. I'm not gonna respond and act certain ways. I ain't supposed to. I say it like that. You just don't. Like I should be a gossiper. I don't see that as some shit I supposed to. I don't need to be calling my homeboys like, hey man, blah blah blah. Like that's not my thing. Like I'm not a gossiper. I'm not like when I talk, I'm talking facts. We get each other opinions, we learn shit, and then I'm done. Anytime it's just certain things I feel like as a man I don't supposed to be doing and not supposed to be. That's one reason, like even when like the whole jealous thing, like when I was younger, like I said, I had that jealous ways. I didn't feel like it was natural. I didn't even feel like I was supposed to be that damn way. I was like, why the fuck I'm jealous about this? Why? Because I'm not. Even with Trish, I don't get jealous with her about stuff. And I tell her, I like, listen, like I'm protective of her, but I'm not jealous. Like if a nigga come up, I'm of course I'm a step. I remember one time we was downtown and some dude had came with her talking to us, I entertained him for like 2 talks. We had 2 sentences. That third sentence, I became asshole. You know what I'm saying? And he left. You know what I'm saying? Because my perspective came on. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me being judged, but it was like, hey, I have to check you out the point because you getting too goddamn talkative. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just.
Was he talking to you or was he talking to Trish?
He was talking to both of us.
Mm.
And it was like, he kept saying something. And then, like I said, I checked, but he had to walk away or whatever. I'm like, dude, why are you still over here talking? Ain't nobody talking to you. It was late. I'm like, that's too damn dangerous. So I feel like for her, when it comes to the kids, and we've had that talk too. Like, I'm not saying, hey, okay, perfect example. And I might be wrong for this. This is just my opinion. Once again, this is my opinion. Like when it comes to Rihanna and Ashanti, like if a female came at them, I'd be like, all right, Trish, go handle that. I have no place in that. It's a woman. Now, if somebody male like bother Ashanti or Rihanna, then I'ma step in. Cause that's my position. And even with like Neil, if it's a male, of course, I'ma step in. If it's a female, Trish step in. So I feel like when it comes to certain situations, it's going to dictate when I would step in and be protective. Because I do agree with what you're saying with the kids situation. That's why I was asking which gender, because sometimes I will and sometimes she will. It's not always going to be me that's going to step in and handle that. Sometimes it will be her that will handle that as well.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you on that aspect, but it depends on who the opposition is, I would say.
I'm the same either way. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, boy or girl. I'm the same way. It doesn't matter. My child is my child, and I'm gonna be the protective mother. So
I think it ain't nothing wrong with that. That's true. and I'm me. And that's what makes this such a beautiful thing. Is that we are individuals. That's what makes it so beautiful.
So I mean, it is what it is. I guess agree to disagree, so to speak.
I mean, we agree, but we're individuals. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We should never like always agree. That's the most boring ass
It
conversation.
is.
Like,
Jeez.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're like, what
Mhm.
the?
All the time.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be like that. The goal is I respect your mind and your opinion, and you respect my mind and opinion. That's what it's all
Mhm.
about.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. See something with the real.
But hey, I'm gonna let you get some rest. Once again, people, check out all her stuff. I want you to repeat everything again, just in case they
Yes.
catch it at the end, they catching it now. Give me
Beautiful
some.
People Beauty Supply, www.beautifulpeoplebeautysupply. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're not sure which one, well, there's only one Beautiful People Beauty Supply. Just look for the girl with the afro. Again, we are a vegan friendly beauty supply store. So a variety of our products are natural and organic. So check us out.
And you still sell that lotion?
I am still selling the black
Hey,
soap and the shea
I will
butter
push
lotion.
myself. I will do this and advertise this part. She has some good ass lotion. That lotion is awesome. So please, I'm telling y'all from what I know, not what I think. Her product is good quality. I buy it myself. I don't even buy lotion nowhere else. Really, I actually still got her lotion that I use now. When it runs out,
Nice.
I'm gonna buy some more of that lotion. But
And we
yeah,
here.
she got some good shit. I will say that.
All
Five.
right. Thank you for having me.
Same here. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. I enjoy your talk. Feel free to always come back, jump on again. I ain't
I
know we was
will.
gonna talk this long. Oh, damn, this was
I
good.
know.
It always be like this. When I get
It
people on
do.
and
Be
moving
talking forever.
everything. But yeah. But hey, I enjoyed you.
Thank
Um,
you.
and other than that, hey, you have a good night, and everybody else have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right, later, everybody.
Bye.